Hello Indie Game fan, more interesting releases to look forward to, beginning with Winter Falling Battle Tactics, a minimalist real-time strategy title where units are represented by icons on the screen, but I really like the presentation around it, especially how they deal with Fog of War, although the Stardew Valley-like sound effects did throw me for a loop, but it's a must-get if you love this classic genre like me. I just talked about Vampire Survivor likes in yesterday's video, where if you were shocked to learn that there are at least 69 of these in the wild, don't worry, there's plenty more to come, where I recently received a couple more such press releases, but we're looking at Terminal Breach here. This is a voxel entry that looks good, having a clean but effective art style with plenty of subgenre tropes to go around. This video is brought to you by Kilta, a pixel art auto-battler management RPG that released in July this year and might be a title that you missed. You play as a guild master, having to recruit heroes and to send them on expeditions in order to get glory, fame, and money. As the guild master, it's your responsibility to ensure that the party composition is right for the quest on hand, where broadly speaking, the balance between tank, DPS, and healer must be there to ensure your highest chances of success. With expeditions come a whole bunch of loot and equipment, as well as a crafting element, but the core combat is the best part, with your characters unleashing powerful attacks with the help of timely guildmaster skills when appropriate. There's a little bit of a narrative system here as well, since heroes do have their own quests and stories to tell, and are not simply nameless, faceless random tropes, being a pretty decent entry worth checking out. The developers are currently working on patch 1.1, which adds more Steam integrations, with the upcoming version 1.2 having new content, so pick this up if you have not. There are a couple of adventure games on my radar, one of which is Bigger Than Me, one involving a young man who becomes gigantic every time he hears the word future, telling a slice of life story that might be all too familiar to the younger millennials and older Gen Z crowd among you in the audience. This 20-something-year-old is trying to survive in the big city, having completed his degree too many years ago, but was still unable to find a decent job, where doom scrolling and the notion that the world is ending is front and center. It is not all doom and gloom, however, with light-hearted writing and pop culture references like the President Evil poster looking to be a great adventure game. I have a number of spooky titles as well, since it is that time of year, where Vlad Circus Descent into Madness really impressed me with the look, where you play as a clown exploring a mansion with the hope of reviving a freak circus that burned to the ground in the 1920s. First off, I hate clowns, so you would think that this game does not appeal to me, but I would guess that is the point, since it is a horror game after all, where other creepy characters like a ventriloquist, as well as otherworldly abominations, some of which might be due to your own madness, are indeed pretty disturbing. It is a pixel art entry but manages to capture that horror game feel, so kudos to the team and I'll be looking forward to the release. I'm not quite sure what to make of Atone Heart of the Elder Tree, since this is, I quote, a Norse mythology-inspired hand-drawn game that blends interactive storytelling and complex puzzles with a rhythm game combat system. As such, it's an interesting mix of genres with a great art style which is very vector graphics-y, where I do love my rhythm games, which makes this of interest. After doing a little googling, apparently this was released on Apple Arcade in 2019, which must be why I thought it looked familiar, but it's getting a full-blown Steam release, although I'm not sure if there is any new content. A very anime action-adventure RPG that comes to us from a Chinese developer is Souls of Chronos, one that contrasts great anime art with the chibi characters in the overworld, which might not be to the liking of some, but the action looks fairly decent. It takes place in a world torn asunder by an apocalypse, where a young boy facing imminent death meets a girl who feeds on the energy of time, where I can only hope for good localization if this is to be any good. There are a couple of stragglers left from the Steam Next Festival in October, with Ants Took My Eyeball being an awesome roguelike platformer not to be missed. You're descending into the ever-changing anthill, chasing after your eye which was stolen, with plenty of guns and weapons at your disposal. There's also permanent progression just like a modern roguelite, with some great pixel art as well, so do check out the demo and wishlist this title. The fantastic-looking Oblivion Override is a roguelite platformer with a focus on melee combat, where you play as Crimson, the combat robot, fighting your way through an enemy base in search of the truth of robotic civilization in the post-apocalypse. I love my roguelites, and honestly, I really miss them since we've been getting a lot of Vampire Survivors style bullet heaven games, so fingers crossed this will be good. Not shown in this trailer is the progression system, which looks fairly in-depth, with NPCs to befriend Hades style, some of which double up as vendors, coupled with a great hand-drawn look which gives it all the tools to be great. One more spooky title for the road with the horror top-down shooter Disfigure, one that limits your vision and ammo, where you don't know what's lurking in the dark, and as a result, created a wonderfully tense atmosphere, with the objective being to survive for as long as possible, similar to games like Devil Daggers. You can watch this video for more grimdark titles.